One of the collection's greatest prizes was this 1973 Rolls-Royce Phantom 6, which went for $223,000. Its value was greatly boosted by the $40,000 stereo system that Sir Elton had installed. Also for sale was the black 1987 Bentley, which Elton John drove to the funeral of the Princess of Wales. After the service, he drove it to the recording studio to cut his special tribute version of Candle in the Wind. The sale of the precious collection was thrust upon the flamboyant singer as a result of losing a multi-million-dollar court battle against his former manager. During the court case, it emerged that his extravagances had cost him almost $55 million in less than 2 years, with almost $400,000 of that going on flowers to spruce up his homes in London, Venice, Windsor and Nice in France. Coming up next, Christian Dior. In post-World War II fashion, only one name stood out on the global stage. Hailed as the most influential fashion designer of the late 1940s and 50s, he dominated the catwalk with his voluptuous new look and defined a new business model in the couture industry, establishing a global brand across a wide range of products. Christian Dior was born in a lively seaside town in Normandy in 1905, the son of a wealthy fertilizer manufacturer. But he had to wait until the 1940s to enjoy the sweet smell of his own success. After spending much of the war dressing the wives of Nazi officers and French collaborators, he struck a deal with a struggling clothing company to launch a luxurious new look with a sumptuous silhouette and billowing skirts. The look was influenced by the Belle Epoque ideal of long skirts, tiny waists and beautiful fabrics that his mother had worn in the early 1900s. His couture house was inundated, with orders from celebrities such as actress Rita Hayworth and prima ballerina Margot Fonteyn. Dior had put Paris back on the fashion map. One of Dior's biggest fans, Christian Lacroix, remembers his idol was so famous in France at the time that it seemed he wasn't a man but an institution. And the excitement he generated with his collections of luxurious clothes with soft shoulders, waspy waists and full flowing skirts was compounded by his incredible commercial instincts. When a US hosiery company made an offer for the rights to manufacture Dior stockings, he proposed waiving the fee in favor of a percentage of the product's sales, thereby introducing the royalty payment system to fashion. Throughout the 1950s, Christian Dior remained the biggest and best-run haute couture house in Paris. And when the designer died in 1957, French newspaper Le Monde remembered him as a man who was identified with good taste, the art of living, and refined culture that epitomizes Paris to the outside world. His mantle was taken up by young protégé Yves Saint Laurent, who remained faithful to Dior's meticulousness, perfect proportions, and exquisite fabrics, while making the design softer, lighter, and easier to wear. He was replaced in 1960 with Marc Bowen, who imbued the collections with a much more conservative style, designing many famously elegant ball gowns and evening dresses in exotic fabrics. He became a favorite with fashion icon and First Lady Jackie Kennedy, and introduced the first sporting lines to the Dior wardrobe. In 1996, the responsibility of styling the Dior empire went to the Gibraltar-born British designer John Galliano, whose iconoclastic style has won him a host of famous fans. Film star Rachel Weisz was one of the celebrity guests at the unveiling of Galliano's recent collection.
I think that with Galliano at the helm, it has this kind of like funkiness as well, so it's a great kind of cocktail of old and new.
Sharon Stone was also there.
And what does it feel like to be the new face of Dior?
Very exciting. It's very nice.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
As eager to pay tribute to tradition as he is to break the rules, Galliano's collection was inspired by illustrations of Dior's work by famous artists. The thesis of the show laid the basis for an eclectic collection of smart, chic street clothes in flesh-tone fabric overlaid in lace. The opening number featuring slinky silk dresses with a sheath of lace over the bodices. Another dress had a trompe-l'oeil print that from afar resembled a t-shirt under a lacy top. Another one-shouldered dress had lingerie touches. It's all a mere walk in the park for the prolific John Galliano, who designs a staggering 12 collections a year. Dior's flagship boutique in Paris is a veritable superstore where customers queue for everything from couture wedding dresses to shoes and fragrances, ever anxious to buy into the image of the house that Galliano has recreated.
So we're here after the Dior show this evening. What did you think?
I thought it was amazing. The music, the models, the costumes, the design, it was amazing.
Nestled amid the sand dunes of the United Arab Emirates lies one of the world's most luxurious resorts. But this one practices tourism with a conscience. Dubai's Al Mahar Resort is classified as one of the leading small hotels in the world. But its real claim to fame is that it's the only desert conservation sanctuary in this arid Gulf region. Furnishings are a blend between modern comfort and authentic Arab antiques. Four-poster beds and overstuffed chaise lounges jostle for space with brass-studded chests beneath the canvas canopy that looks like a tent. Binoculars and easel and oils add a luxurious touch. The resort is designed to reflect a Bedouin camp, albeit a very plush one. Rooms go for $1,200 a night, all-inclusive in the high season. Al Mahar caters to a maximum of 66 visitors, and each of the 30 chalets has its own plunge pool and private garden. Although the vast and barren desert might conjure images of hardship, life is very comfortable at Al Mahar, a $16.34 million project owned by Gulf heavyweight Emirates Group. Established in March 2000, Al Mahar is set within a 25 square kilometre reserve that is home to more than 40 species of flora and fauna, including the oryx that is now extinct in the wild. The reserve has introduced some species that were destroyed by the camels that were farmed here.
Probably the first and foremost is that it uses every single conceivable environmentally friendly system that you can find, from 100% water recycling through to solar energy wherever we can use it, right through to the fact that all the chemicals, detergents, even the guest amenities are 100% biodegradable. We run the systems like that. We are trying to limit our impact on the habitat, and this is really a model for anyone on design and design technique. What also makes it special is the first one that's ever been done in the desert. And from both the guest point of view and from the business point of view, the one thing that makes it special is that the guest visiting here supports our business, and their contribution goes into conservation.
Other species that have been reintroduced include the Acacia nilotica, or scented thorn bush, and the so-called firebush that has natural built-in pyrotechnics. The oryx, which was released in the desert in 1999, breeds in the reserve, and their numbers have increased so much that Al Mahar has established feeding stations for them. Now, foxes' holes and rodent homes riddle the sands, while different species of gazelles laze amid the dunes under the winter sun. Two of the species that roam free in Al Mahar include the shy sandy brown Dorcas gazelle and the skittish reem gazelle. Al Mahar, named after the rare Arabian oryx it protects, is a 45-minute drive into the desert outskirts of cosmopolitan Dubai. the bustling trade and tourism hub of the oil-rich United Arab Emirates. A low-voltage fence surrounds the reserve to prevent camels, animals that are not indigenous to this area, from straying in and the protected species from wandering out, ensuring that Al Mahar's guests can enjoy a natural habitat while lolling in their own luxurious environment. And while indulging themselves in five-star luxury and the beauty of nature, guests at Al Mahar Resort can relax in the knowledge that they are also nurturing the environment. Coming up next, the world's biggest yacht. The Vosper Thornycroft Yard in Southampton is famous for building naval ships. Now, alongside the frigates and minesweepers, a giant sailing yacht has gradually taken shape. Construction of the world's largest motor yacht is rumoured to have cost a whopping £33 million. Not least because she's made from a revolutionary new composite material that is lighter but as strong as steel.
Gives a lighter structure for an equivalent strength. It gives a built-in acoustical and thermal advantage because you're creating a sandwich of materials rather than a thin skin like alloy or steel is.
The last word in luxury sailing is called the Mirabella 5, and it's the brainchild of British designer Ron Holland, weighing in at 765 tons. Under sail, it will be the biggest and most powerful yachting machine ever designed, although probably not for long, as rival designers say there's no technical limitation to the size that pleasure yachts could reach. This drawing of the dream boat gives some idea of the Mirabella 5's dimensions. The world's biggest sloop has a hull big enough, wide enough and deep enough to take several London buses. On completion of the 75-metre hull, the yacht will be fitted with a mast more than 90 metres high.
The design is outstanding. Its size is going to allow for much greater speed because on a big boat like this, it's its length that determines its speed. And the way the keel is designed, the bottom is designed, this boat will perform very well upwind as well, which is something most big boats don't do.
The Mirabella 5 boasts 6 staterooms, king-size bedrooms, ensuite bathrooms, satellite TV, a cinema, gym and sauna all included, and all serviced by a permanent 12-member crew.
We're going to achieve a launch at the end of November. Shortly after that, the vessel will go to Portsmouth and we will step the mast, which means fitting a 90-metre tall mast, a huge structure that we're building at another of our shipyards, and people will then see for themselves the true size of the ship.
The ultimate sailing machine may be built for speed, but the yacht is designed mainly for the super-rich to cruise the Caribbean and the Mediterranean. The Mirabella 5 will be hired out for charters. Not surprisingly, when it comes to hiring out a vessel with sailing and rigging proportions never before considered, a working jib of nearly 9,000 feet and a staysail of nearly 3,500 feet, only those with the deepest of pockets need apply. But owner Joe Vittoria is confident of finding plenty of recession-proof billionaires willing and able to find the charter fee of $250,000 a week.
There are 490-odd billionaires in dollars in the world, and I only need 20 of them to get my 20 weeks charter. Many of them will even charter it for more than 1 week. But forget the billionaires, there are a lot of people out there that have the kind of money that's necessary to have a holiday that's going to cost maybe $500,000 by the time it's over.
If the real thing is a little rich for your blood, how about a 2.75-metre-long replica of the Titanic, made entirely from the finest Belgian chocolate? More than 90 years after the luxury liner sank, it resurfaced in Germany. Berlin's traditional chocolate makers, Fassbender and Rausch, known for their extravagant creations, built the ship at a scale of 1 to 100. When the chocolate version of the ill-fated ship was unveiled in Berlin, it was clear the confectioners had considered every single detail: the anchor, the chimneys, and every single one of the ship's portholes. We are known to make buildings out of chocolate, and so far we've always created buildings in Berlin, like the Brandenburg Gate, the Reichstag, or the Church of Remembrance. One day there was a magazine here with pictures and a blueprint of the Titanic. So we asked ourselves whether it would be possible to reconstruct this gigantic ship on a 1:100 scale. It took about 1 year, but we succeeded. To build the ship, it took a lot of time, great instinct, and lashings of chocolate. And of course, Rausch and his confectioners didn't even forget the rescue boats. We started dealing with the ship's structure and realized that we had to make the ship's bottom 2.75 meters out of solid chocolate. We then added the top, made special molds, and filled those with chocolate. At the end, we had about 1,200 single pieces, which then had to be connected, all stuck together with chocolate. The detail on the ship is completely to scale, even down to the ship's propellers, which look metallic, but were made of chocolate and then coated with golden food colouring. Alongside the Titanic, there are enough spectacular items on display in the shop to satisfy even the most voracious chocoholic appetite. Most of them are famous symbols of the German capital, Berlin, such as the Reichstag and a 1.5 meter tall chocolate replica of the Brandenburg Gate. And whether it's chocolate or couture that turns you on, I hope we've satisfied your desire. At least until next time, when we'll be pampering you on the poop deck of the Queen Mary II and catching up with the legendary Armani. Before a luxury stopover at Rodeo Drive and ending up at London's most decadent hotel.
Three, two, one.